Go him.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Stardust RPG Into the Vast. I am William, and I am your game master for this 5th edition campaign of my own devising. And joining me today, we have John.
I'm John, and I'm playing Durak, the human wizard.
And Andrew.
Hello, I'm Andrew, and I'm playing Mark 7, the Warforged Buccaneer Captain.
And Craig.
Hi, I'm playing Dr. Gerhard Wieder, the undead barbarian.
And Cody.
Alright, Cody, I'm playing Cardon Joya, the Kardash monk.
And when last we left off, this group had been impromptu brought together by an individual who seemed to know quite a lot about each of them and what they were looking for and what they might be wanting, by an individual who is one of the leaders of the Core Adventurers League, basically the Galactic Adventurers Guild. Brought together as a group of adventurers because she saw the potential promise in each of them and thought that they would grow and work well together. They were sent towards their first mission on the planet of Nocturna to reclaim an ancient artifact from the feudal-ish empire that rules the world, with the advanced technology left over from the starship that crashed on that world many years ago, while the rest of the world lays in medieval-esque squalor. They've approached the world on the opposite side of the planet from the massive cannon that would be a threat to their ship if they were to try and land too close to the Empire, and are now deciding where they want to land. So we pick up with that.
As I recall, we weighed up our options previously. We can either take a smash and grab option by landing as close to the capital as possible, or we can take a slower angle and foment a rebellion that could help us get inside.
The largest issue that I see in the realm of rebellion, well, there's two large issues actually. One, as far as we are aware, there's no real consolidation of other forces on the planet. It's pretty much the Empire and nothing else, correct?
You were informed that there are a number of smaller lords who might not like the yoke of the Empire, but don't individually have the power to overthrow it.
Yeah, the military might is consolidated.
For the most part.
And two, along with military might, technological might is consolidated in one location. This is not an armory ship, at least as far as I'm aware. We don't really have the means to. We don't really have the means to outfit a rebellion.
I would agree. It seems that if we are to implement large-scale change on this planet, we would need the proverbial infinite lever as well as a place to stand, and it appears to me that we have neither.
Whereas removing the power source from this empire removes the majority of their military might and would thus instill rebellion in those that they have stepped upon much swifter and easier than us coming with no hope and no weapons.
Hope, I imagine, is something that we may be able to provide, but you are correct in that we lack the capabilities. This is not a warship, after all. Very well.
No, the second side of that is this isn't a warship.
Yeah.
Trying to do a smash and grab is not the safest maneuver.
Well, no, but on foot, we probably have a better chance than flying directly into the cannon barrel.
Perhaps we find a middle ground. We approach one of these lords and tell them that we will make such a rebellion easier should they help us into the capital to remove this source of power. They can do whatever they please afterwards, but with the current regime, but should they help us, it will make whatever endeavors they plan on taking much easier once we accomplish our goal.
And another variable that has not been accounted for is that we do not know precisely who might be amenable to fomenting rebellion on this world.
Yeah, the most of the intel you have is on the Empire itself. You don't have a whole lot on anybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't know how viable the rebellion might be. You don't know if, say, there's enough power and numbers there, they just don't have the organization to make it happen, or if there's something else that's in the way, or what have you.
Yes. So I'm perfectly fine with the idea of getting assistance from the locals as far as getting into the place, though I imagine they'll have some questions about our current mode of transportation, considering that as far as we were informed, the planet had sort of regressed into a bit more of a feudal state.
For the most part, according to notes from our contact, it is possible that technology could be scattered across the planet. Perhaps. Wait, no. There's another non-verbal click from Mark 7 as they ponder their own thoughts. I had thought of the possibility that technology might be scattered across this world, but given that they have had several centuries to establish the Empire's rule, it is possible they have canvassed the entire landmass.
Well, the one advantage we have there is that even if their sensors weren't destroyed in the crash, the sensors are on one side of the planet, so anything that might have sped to the other side would be difficult to sense technologically and would have to be searched for manually. We could do a run around the opposite side of the planet, keeping our sensors open for any high technological signals that might be worth investigating. That would certainly give us an idea as to where the largest secondary power on the planet is.
We are currently on the opposite side of the world from the planetary cannon, yes?
Yes.
Well...
Sensors don't tend to travel through solid matter very easily, so...
If Mark 7 could tap their faceplate, they would.
You have eyes.
Alas, their hands are currently busy. Yes, that is something with which I am familiar. But I would like to run a sensor sweep to see if Durac's theory does hold up.
Just roll me a intelligence piloting. Intelligence pilots.
Helm subsystem?
Yes, thank you. Intelligence helms. Thank you.
7.
7?
Yeah.
Let's see if this thing is actively signaling right now. Odds are in your favor. All right. So you pick up. You're having some interference in the scan, which is probably due to the nature of the atmosphere. You're picking up. There's a lot of the debris from the crash that it kicked up is still in the atmosphere, which renders it a very sort of smoggy, kind of hard to penetrate with scanners.
Well, one of us will need a gas mask.
It's still breathable at ground level. Most of the debris in like orbit, like edge of the atmosphere orbit.
This today's smog warning is metal fragments.
Yes. But you do get a signal that penetrates on this side of the planet. You don't have an exact location due to the interference, but you do know there is something technologically powerful enough to be emitting significant energy waves that are detectable from space.
Remind me how long it's been since this planet regressed / stagnated at this
Near
technology level?
the crash landing, as far as your records are, is near the end of the Deadlock War. So, few centuries.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was several centuries ago.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, as far as sort of general public, if we show up in a maglev car or whatever it is, are they going to be like, "Dang, that's cool technology," or are they going to be like, "Witches"?
It's hard to say without having been down there. You would suspect with your just roll me an intelligence check, history if you have it.
I don't have any. Natural 1, so it's a 5 total.
It's hard to say, based on what evidence you have and from your. I mean, obviously you are a college-educated gentleman, so obviously you must have the answer. But as far as possibilities that you can come up with, they might see you as anything from mysterious witches and powerful sorcerers they might see your technology as indistinguishable from magic. They might have some legends passed down from the ages before about the technology that has been lost. They might see you as like the ancients come again. They might have some at least oral history of technology that will tell them what you are, if not who. It ranges.
So I will
Perhaps they
remind
would
all
think
of you that we run a very serious risk of the residents of this planet simply being too stupid to be able to comprehend what we are doing and just acting out of fear and ignorance.
or if most of the technology is at the capital, they may believe that we're from the capital.
Well,
Possibly.
The easy solution to that is simply to tell them that I'm a very powerful wizard and this is all magic.
Do we know how they look upon magic on this planet?
Unknown.
Most people, when confronted with magic they can't understand, are afraid of it. Which is better than trying to kill us.
That is my concern. I think these are huge impediments in the way of us integrating with the rest of this planet and fomenting some sort of rebellion. I think we should go simply as close as we can, avoid the natives, and go right for the, as one of you put it, smash and grab.
The difference there is you're going to have to make your way through an empire that has equivalent level technology, at least in some parts.
Oh, I mean, I get it out of character. I just rolled a 1.
Why not go check out that signal you just picked up? Wrenches says from around the corner.
That is the idea, yes.
Like, there's something high-tech down there that isn't this weird world-spanning empire. It might be useful even if it's not somebody else.
A valid point.
Here's hoping it's a teleporting back door.
A little Deus Ex Machina.
is if my experience has taught me anything, we can rely on a convenient option that will allow us to proceed with things simply and easily.
Can't tell if that was sarcasm or just his natural one talking.
does anyone say Rencha say that out loud, or is that just
That was
you
me.
wondering?
That was
Okay.
me.
What is this natural one you speak of? Well,
I apologize. I realize we have not been together for a tremendous amount of time. I was being sarcastic, he says to the silence that greets the statement.
No worries.
If nothing else, this is a solid starting point to begin our investigations. Brace for re-entry. I am taking us down.
very well.
Very good.
Cardon grabs the nearest oh shit bar, because I'm pretty sure there's got to be at least one of those on a ship.
There are seat belts fitted into the chairs at each station.
I sit down and I begin weaving my hands through the air for 10 minutes while you're landing.
What are you casting?
I am ritual casting wrist pocket. And I am putting my mage armor scrolls in them. So just like sort of doesn't actually pull anything out, just sort of like, grabs the air, twists, rotates, rearranges as energy sort of flows from the tips of his fingers in runic lines in midair. And then after a pattern has formed 10 minutes later, holds up 2 pairs of scrolls, flicks his wrist, and they vanish along with the runes.
Oh, you tiny one. And
Yes?
Cardon pulls out a healing potion, hands it to you.
Thank you.
Yes. Drink in case of emergency. And perhaps, I believe you would still benefit from this. And it sets one next to Mark 7.
It may be best to fit that into a pocket in my coat. Re-entry can be hazardous to glass.
It's in your pocket.
Mm.
Didn't even feel it.
My large owl is just sort of sitting still on the desk, staring at Mark 7.
How is the ritual casting? How is it? Is it workmanlike? Is it shoddy? Is it fastidious? Vitor is like staring intently at you as you do this.
It's very precise and intricate diagrams. What languages do you know?
I know, I guess, Galactic Common, Elvish, and Trollish.
You don't.
What is it Trollish?
It's troll.
Troll. Okay.
You don't recognize the language the runes are in, but they are very intricate and complex looking. And it's an arcane formula, so it's just sort of it's an arcane formula being drawn in midair in front of him, using each finger to draw separate lines as they turn, which may or may not be impressive to you.
You were born in the divide, huh, Dr. Veter? Don't even speak human. You just speak common, troll, and elvish.
Yeah. Because I think I ran out of language choices as a barbarian.
I speak basic, elvish, and troll. I don't even speak the native tongue of my species.
But yeah, so
it's just straight up German.
So basically, rather than drawing with 1 or 2 hands, he's drawing with 10 fingers.
Okay.
How long does re-entry take us?
Probably about 15 minutes.
Okay, so by the time once we get through and into the atmosphere properly,
The re-entry is the reentry is definitely rougher than usual because, again, the upper atmosphere is full of like fragmented metal and dust. But yeah.
Once we get through that outer layer, as it were, and into atmosphere proper, can I pinpoint the source of that signal a bit easier?
Roll again with advantage on the helm side.
Okay.
Shorsa continue like I feel like there's probably like slight like furrows in the desk where Shorsa is just holding like claws just gripping.
That's a 22 for the helm subsystem.
So as you punch in, that signal clarifies and you're able to pick up more on it. It's near, it's not like very close to where you're landing, but you could probably get there in not too long, maybe a day, maybe two on the speeder.
All right.
And you don't necessarily have a lot of room to alter where you're landing right now. But
yeah. It finding a landing zone kind of combines with the whole re-entry process.
Yeah.
All right. So as Mark 7 takes us down, they will...
I will say what you can pick up with your scanners on the way in, it's a little hard because they're kind of baffled by the heat of re-entry, just like the fireball that you are descending in. But what you can pick up through it is that it definitely appears to be in the middle of a large structure. Like it appears to be part of built environment rather than just in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, so it's somewhere in civilization.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. React left.
Oh, I did right.
They're never that in sync on Star Trek, I'll be honest with you.
Oh, I fell on my keys. But more specifically, as Mark 7 brings us into a landing zone, they'll get on the comms again. I have managed to pinpoint that new signal. It appears to be somewhere within civilization, approximately 1 day's travel, perhaps 2, out from our landing zone.
Why'd you get on the comms? We're all sitting right here.
Oh, I thought... out of character, I thought everyone was scattered about the ship. I didn't know you were all standing over my shoulder.
Yeah, no, we were in the cockpit because we were discussing where we're gonna land and how we're gonna do this.
To be fair, Wrenches is still in the engineering room, so if you want to do that,
Yeah.
Yeah, and doubtless she has a monitor in engineering that relays information from helms.
Probably.
That was really just for me. I'm sorry.
You confused the shit out of me.
So you have landed.
Fair warning,
Yes.
everyone. If you do, if you do decide to use the "we're a great wizard, we're traveling in the company of a great wizard" excuse, let me know beforehand. I'm not very good at improvising.
It instills me with confidence.
Hopefully, it will not have to come to that.
Hopefully.
So I disengage myself from the pilot controls and make my way down to where I keep the speeder.
Welcome to Act 1 of Star Ocean till the end of time.
Yeah.
That's a joke for John, specifically.
Just for me. Star Ocean is a really good concept.
I mean, it's a lot of what I base Stardust off of.
I can't say
minus the virtual reality.
Like I can't. I mean, well, they have ones that aren't virtual realities too. I can't say that they're all great games, but they are great concepts.
Till the End of Time is fine.
No, Till the End of Time is fine. There are others that are less fine.
The Last Hope.
integrity and faithlessness is also not great.
That sure is a title.
When you
We
can't,
digress.
when you can't tell if one of the characters' outfits is skin colored or has holes in it based on the design.
I have concerns.
Valid concerns. I did too, and it's me.
Yeah, that says a lot coming from you, John.
So,
But
you land. You have disengaged, and you are ready to depart.
Oh, let's see. I won't need this. I won't need this. We'll leave the cleansing stone. No, we'll bring the cleansing stone with.
Cardon is already by the speeder waiting with his pack, and on his belt, he now has a handful of what look like best described as lithe railroad ties or railroad spikes.
So, Durak comes down with Owl on shoulder. Actually, Owl on staff that is slung over back. And also holding, like, a Glock. And in the most... And in the most out-of-character thing that he has done so far, competently checks, hits the safety, holsters.
Mark 7 is also thoroughly armed and armored. You can see that about their person they have integrated studded leather, a holstered pistol, a sheathed short sword, a shield on their back, and a hand crossbow in another holster.
That's a lot of weapons.
Yes, and I am capable with all of them.
I'm glad to hear it.
I will be able to adapt my fighting style on a moment's notice.
Gerhardt has a just a pistol in a holster at his hip. Otherwise, is no longer carrying the satchel, but does come down and on his shoulder, or on his upper arm rather, strapped to it, there are several auto syringes, and he passes one out to each of you and says, "Kardash, I would agree that perhaps you should not have passed them out before that rather rough landing we just had, but it is not a bad idea. These are auto syringes. You may use them on yourself if you are in need of regenerative assistance." So each of you has a greater healing potion now.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I have a healing potion and a greater healing potion. Oh,
Take
well.
that, pencil.
I slip it into the pouch that my gun is in. I don't have an actual holster. The gun just went into one of the many pouches on my belt.
As a wizard with a Glock, would you say it's semi-automatic?
Yes.
I approve.
Yes, I would. It'll never get fired. Okay, let's go.
The one time he pulls it out, he's
not make puns in character now.
The one time he pulls it out, he's gonna accidentally shoot himself in the foot or the leg or something.
He's actually proficient with it.
Nice.
All right, Frenches, we are on our way. Take care.
Don't let the ship get eaten by some sort of giant rockworm.
Stay out of my room.
Do my best.
I hear they enjoy eating ships. That's all. I don't know if they're on this planet.
I'll let you know what happens when one tries to eat a gnome ship that's running a Sun Eater drive.
Likely bad things.
Why
Very
do I
bad.
get the feeling that we will find out as well? And then Mark 7 just drives out.
So the speeder you have is a 6-person seater, and is lightly armed. It has a series of small ballistic weapons mounted to the front that can be fired if need be.
Who operates those, pilot or co-pilot?
Either or,
Okay.
but it's much easier for the co-pilot when you're driving.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
I'm sitting in the back.
I guess Kardash would take over guns
So you have
while
Mark
we're
7
while we're
piloting
riding.
and Cardon co-piloting. And Durak specifically sitting in the back seat, even though there's also a mid seat. Where is Dr. Veter at?
I guess the mid seat. He's not particularly fussed.
So
Everybody else jumps in. He will make a point to take it. If the mid seat is unoccupied, he will take it.
I'm sitting in the back seat because I have an owl.
So
does it appear as an organic owl?
Yeah.
I apologize. You described it last week. I apologize.
Yeah, no, it's specific. It's a very specific kind of owl. It is blast. Hang on.
It's the chonk owl.
Fish owl.
Blackiston's fish owl.
Yes,
recall?
Blackiston's fish owl, the largest known species of owl. It's a big,
very fat eagle.
It's a big fat eagle, about the size of a toddler. Weighs 8 pounds and is 2.3 feet tall.
That actually is pretty heavy for an owl.
Yeah.
But yeah, the speeder kicks to life, and with this very sort of low hum, just takes off.
This owl is heavier than the swords you have.
Yeah. 4 times.
Inexplicably, a pistol weighs more than a short sword.
It's because a pistol has to be able to withstand the recoil.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
And swords have to be very light, otherwise you'll break your wrist.
Also true.
This
right,
is why World
so...
of Darkness is wrong. Sorry, World of Darkness routinely lists like two-handed weapons as like 14 pounds. It's like that would break your arms. A Scottish claymore is 7 pounds. Not 14 pounds.
Right, so driving in the general direction of the coordinates I picked up.
Mm-hmm. How much are you trying to avoid roads? Because it does become difficult to move a speeder through forest.
How thick are the trees?
With two seats.
I was drinking. Why was I drinking?
I don't know. You figured you'd learn by now.
No, you would think. I am a highly intelligent dumbass. And now that's on record. Honestly, I think I would probably stick to roads.
Alright.
Mainly because I don't fancy getting... I mean, I don't usually get lost, but there's always a chance.
Yeah.
It's fine. We can impress the masses as we drive by.
Well, there's also the fact that from the ground, you don't have a sensor strong enough to really single out that signal. So you're mostly going off of the coordinates that you generally narrowed it down from the ship, and it's very easy to lose your orientation in the middle of a forest.
Yeah, like I don't have a compass or anything in my robot brain, so...
I always know which way is north.
Oh, well then.
If you need directions, I can keep you on the correct path. However you'd like to go.
Well, He can keep you moving in the right direction.
I said what I said.
There's a difference between the right direction and the correct path.
Only if you care about the obstacles in the way.
Well, we're not trying to run over the locals. Just blitz past them.
But yes, it's in roughly this direction, as I perfectly recall the coordinates from having seen them once.
Yep.
I mean, I do the same because robot. Though perhaps not to the same.
Not to the same extent as the keen mind feat, but you recall what you
Yeah.
remember with very good detail.
Yes.
Keen mind, the wizard's cheat code.
Only lasts a month, you fool.
Only lasts a month at a glance. I can put that shit to memory, though.
But yeah, so after a while of driving, your short-range sensors pick up that there is a single building on the road coming up ahead. If you were to take a guess, you'd probably call it a roadside tavern because it's one of the only buildings for miles. Do you intend to stop there or just blaze past it?
I think. Great. Anxiety brain is in overdrive today. Lovely. Blast it.
It would be a good opportunity to stop and get a sense of what the local wildlife is like.
Also, what the local populace is consisting of.
That was the joke I was making. Yes, but no, we'll see how they react to scary speeder, or if it's just like, oh look, one of those haughty rich types, kill them now, and then we can drive away. Would be a good idea to understand how the locals react to our presence prior to finding whoever it is that owns the piece of technology we're looking for.
Folks, I don't know why, but I am struggling to decide on even the simplest things today. And I'm sorry about that.
No
It's all
worries.
right.
Well, it isn't, but you know.
At least part of your group has expressed a preference for one of these two options. So if you would like to go with that.
Ideally, I would like to not have to rely on that, but that's a problem for another time.
I'll put it to you this way: there isn't a wrong choice here, so it's not going to be you're not going to make the wrong decision.
That doesn't make me feel better. I'm the kind of person who needs a correct choice. Almost pathologically.
This is fair.
But if that is what people would find beneficial, then sure, let's go with that.
Yes, I think it'd be quite useful.
So, after a few more minutes of travel, the speeder slows and pulls off to the side of the road near what appears to be a small 2-floor building. They have a plot of land for growing crops out of the main, like off the side of the immediate building. There's a small fenced-in area for stabling horses that are stopping. You can see that there is a fire going inside, and you can just over the engines you can hear the commotion of people inside the building as someone has taken notice of the speeder pulling up.
Can we see anybody inside the building?
Only perception.
Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do.
Anybody?
21.
Did you say anybody out of nowhere, Cody, or were you trying to see if anyone can hear you?
No, I was saying anybody.
Anyone
like,
can roll perception. Yes.
All right, yeah. 15.
24. Net 20.
Nice. Craig, would you like to roll perception, or are you just not there? I think you just...
I apologize. I was muted. But Gerhard is not rolling. He doesn't care.
Okay.
Oh, look, locals.
I'm trying to get a sense of what they're wearing.
Gerhard is much more interested in the field. When we stop, if we get out, want to take a soil sample.
So the as you stop like near the plot of land where the crops are, in all of you who rolled can see inside. You see there are probably no more than maybe 4 or 5 people inside the building right now. At least they are visible. You can spot what appear to be a human and an elf. And then the more striking individuals that stand out in that group, you see a Kardosh, which is hard to miss. And you also see an avian.
Are they wearing complex modern clothes, or are they wearing Renaissance fair attire?
They definitely appear to be wearing the best someone could do if they were trying to rebuild a fashion from 300 years ago out of low budget materials.
So Ren fair.
Definitely Ren fair.
Kind of, yeah.
So
What is that, a burlap tux?
Judging by the
like the designs try and replicate the functionalism and like intended outfit of modern outfits that are designed for like fit and function, but they're made using hand materials and like handcrafting, so they're not anywhere near as advanced or extravagant.
So based on the appearance of the locals, my suggestion would be Cardon and myself, unless good doctor, are you able to remove your helmet? That might, looking less like a spaceman, might assist with conversation.
I am able to remove it, but I am not willing to do so.
Fair enough. My clothes are fairly simple.
Not wish it.
Oh, I surely I wouldn't. I would never say that.
No, but there is no need for me to join you on the inside. I am not, as they say, a people person. I will stay out here. I wish to take a soil sample. If you are able, however, to get a few temperature readings, perhaps a saliva sample from any of the locals, I would appreciate it. And he hands you a small sample kit. If it doesn't come up, though, don't worry about it.
Certainly. And I fold them away into one of my many pockets, never to bring them out again.
You're just going to look, and Cardon's going to have a pinky in one person's mouth being like, somebody told me to do this.
But yes.
It definitely also gives one to Cardon.
For purposes of information gathering, my recommendation would be myself and Cardon, unless anyone objects spectacularly.
No objections. As he stows the sample kit into a pouch on his belt.
Mark 7.
I would accompany you. Even if you... I mean, I get it. My presence and manner of conversation will undoubtedly raise questions.
Less your presence and more simply when people tend to meet foreigners for the first time, those that look similar to them are more warmly received than those that look drastically different. Hence I say, sort of indicate to the helmet that Gerhard is wearing. If we're trying to figure out precisely the temperature of the room, then
you have a thermometer for that Dr. Gerhard just gave you.
I do. I have that.
I can understand that perhaps more than you realize.
Oh no, absolutely. I assume I am saying nothing that is not universally understood, but simply reiterating it out loud.
Well, if there is one thing I have learned before we met, it is that because something is obvious to person A does not make it obvious to person B. But that is beside our point.
Well then, let us adjourn. I will step out of the vehicle with my owl.
Cardon does as well, and the speeder lifts up a few inches.
I'll lean over towards Cardon. Let's not do any temperature gathering.
I don't know which tool to do that with anyway, so
The thermometer.
we'll-
Peter yells from farther away because
I'm aware.
I assume Kardash is not whispering.
No, he's not. But he also, I'm aware of the name of the tool.
It is the small one that looks like an electronic destabilization device. This one.
Got it.
And
Don't-
Gerhard comes back over and points to the electronic thermometer. Like one of
Okay.
those forehead readers.
All right.
This sort of give Cardon.
He
Give
starts.
Cardon a knowing
He
look.
starts fiddling through his pouch.
Well, if
But
we have
as
not,
as we start,
we have not already caused a scene,
We
I
definitely need to
feel
get
like we
Kardash.
might have.
We
We're
need to get
tourists,
Kardash
You,
just so
def-
they-
you definitely noticed that the people who previously had like gathered around windows to take a look have vanished from the windows.
Oh, the tourist looking through his fanny pack.
Well then, shall we enter?
Lead the way.
I will. My owl will first fly to a window. And I will begin walking towards the door, but I will look through my owl's eyes.
As you look through your owl's eyes, you see that just about all of the 5 other original of the 6 that you had seen, 5 have gone to like corner seats to try and get as far out of obvious sight as possible. The Kardash is the only one who has remained, and it becomes more obvious that this is the tender of this. This is the keeper of this tavern, because he is standing behind the bar cleaning a glass with a rag as you are approaching.
I return my senses back. People are in the corners, and the Kardash is apparently the bartender. As I go to the door and open it.
As you step inside, you are greeted with the immediate scent of a low burning fire as the hearth is starting to burn low as the logs are almost fully consumed. You get the sense of a late season chill coming in from the outside as you realize the temperature difference. And the area is surprisingly quiet. You can hear the animal noises in the outside as some idle birds make chatter. The only real noise from the inside is just the slow motion of this Kardash running a rag across this glass mug. As he sort of looks up as the group of you enter. You don't look imperial.
Go for it.
No, you were talking. Go ahead, Cody.
Okay. Cardon will reply in Kardash. What gave it away? See if he understands or replies.
He does reply in Kardosh. He just the accent is a bit strong and not the kind of dialect you're used to, but the language is still there.
Okay.
As he responds back, well, for one, you don't see many of us in the Empire.
Well, you are correct. Do you mind if we take a seat?
If you don't cause any trouble, you're welcome here.
I promise I will cause no trouble.
Who'd you steal the air cab for?
Oh, it's ours. As Cardon will motion Durak towards the bar as he continues, and then he'll switch into Goblin Basic. It's ours.
We'll walk towards the bar. Hello.
Not many people can lay claim to that kind of technology with the Empire having it.
Well, I am a very powerful wizard, so that explains it. Because he was just motioning towards the bar, it's like, well, I guess I'm going.
He looks at you. I mean, you have the look of a hedge wizard.
I sort of wave a hand, and then actually,
Fireball.
No, wave a hand, and I will use minor illusion. I swapped message out for minor illusion after the long rest. I sort of like pull as I move the hand, pull a bit of fleece out of one of the pouches attached to the various leather straps on my wrist, and just sort of wave it through the air. And as I do, there's just the aerial map of the region based on where we had come down in our ship.
Mm-hmm.
We are trying to head in a particular direction. I was hoping we could get some directions from you.
He looks out the door at the speeder. In my experience, anyone who's got Empire tech and isn't part of the Empire is running from the Empire. Which means you're good in my book. What are you looking for?
I will sort of use waving the fleece to scroll the map that the minor illusion is making. I will scroll over towards roughly the coordinates that we had determined the technology signal was coming from. It's my understanding that there's likely some sort of facility, some sort of castle or keep or barracks in this area, but I'm not familiar with the area enough to say for certain what might be there or where precisely.
You're looking for Legion Stand.
Ooh, what's that?
Legion Stand is the home base of one Lord General Odano. He's the probably only source of real law and order in this region. Can't count on the Empire to try and rule anything out here.
Lord General Adorno. And would he perchance be negatively disposed towards the Empire?
You could say that. They did take his eye.
Perfect. Well, not perfect for him. Sorry, rephrase. Good. No, that's not the best one either.
That's unfortunate.
Yes, that is unfortunate, but we are in similar mental terms in that particular case.
He just kind of takes a second to look at you funny and then just kind of nods.
I give him a look like just hear him out.
Would this Lord General be interested in receiving guests of a like-minded sort?
The gates of Legion Stand have been barred recently due to increasing troubles in the region. if you wanted to speak with the Lord General, you'd need to prove yourself an ally of his.
How might one do
Easily
that?
done. How might we go about it? I like that we basically said that at the same time.
Yeah.
He looks over at you, kind of looks you up and down for a bit, trying to see where the person is under the metal and not finding it.
It helps that a lot of Mark 7's metal body is covered by clothing and armor.
Yeah. It's like, you put on armor, then you put clothes over the armor. Why?
Don't worry about it.
Aesthetic.
He'd be a very thin man, just kind of running through his head.
Cardon
Okay, you
pulled
got
out
me.
the
I'm actually-
thermometer.
Okay, you got me. I'm in no mech suit.
No, caught on. That won't be necessary.
But he sort of indicates towards the area of the map that you're indicating. The underground sections of the planet in this region have become overrun with cast-offs from the Empire's experimentation, and they've started to attack nearby villages. Anything you could do to thin those numbers might be of assistance.
Is there a place in particular that they're coming out of?
Well, the underground tunnel systems run basically the length of the continent. And when the Empire dumps their experiments out, they tend to herd them towards this end.
Away from their own pristine paradise, I imagine.
Exactly.
Do you know where there are a significant number of tunnel entries?
Well, part of the reason that Legion rests where it is because it has easy access to the underground tunnels through Dragon's Mouth, which is a cave system a few hours north, ride by horse.
I'll sort of zoom out the map so that he can indicate it.
Sort of point on the regional diagram. It looks to be an outcropping of rock that is roughly shaped like the outstretched, like the open maw of a dragon.
Well then, I believe that's a task we can apply ourselves to ably.
If you can clear out enough of those to maybe make a difference. There's been one that's made its presence known. Large, probably some kind of cast-off breed from unnatural realms. And it's torn through several villages, eating and killing whatever it feels like. Skin black as night. Or no. Yes, dark as night, not pitch black, but almost a purple. And white hair and glowing red eyes, many arms, and built powerfully.
Do I recognize this description?
You can roll me religion.
Would it be religion or arcana to identify a Drider?
It'd be religion in this particular case.
There it is.
Would you
16.
go ahead?
16 on my religion.
Anyone else who wants to can also roll that. But the 16, the thing that ticks you off about not being any kind of spiderkin is that the statement was many arms rather than many legs.
Yeah.
I rolled better but did worse.
And you get that same thought of like nothing spider related. Also built powerfully, like things that go through your mind would be like some kind of many-armed ogre or oni or something like that. Maybe, who knows?
No, the mini-armed Oni is on Friday night's game.
Would you perhaps have a physical map you would be willing to part with?
He kind of taps his chin for a minute. You hear that sort of stone cracking noise as stone meets stone. Tunk, tunk, tunk. Galeron, get over here, he says as he sort of turns to his left, and you see the avian that some of you had seen earlier sort of stand up, sort of his wings kind of flutter a bit as he kind of brushes dust off and walks over. Do you have your latest map? The avian kind of looks across the group of you. I do, but I had been making that for you. Would you rather I give it to them? Kind of, the Kardash nods, and the avian kind of shrugs, his wings shrug also, and he kind of pulls a map off of his belt and rolls it out in front of you, and you get this very articulated and well detailed map of the general region taken from a bird's eye view.
How much does an area map generally run back in the core system?
In the core system, when it's done by scans, handful of silver.
Handful of silver. All right.
We have cred sticks, not actual silver.
Oh yeah, that's right. Fuck.
God damn it. So,
I'm gonna go ahead.
So Mark 7 would survey this map, recognize the detail that has been put into it, and then look at the avian and speak up. If we get the chance, I would endeavor to return this to you.
I appreciate that. It was my latest effort.
You're a cartographer, then?
I am. It is a trade that suits me, being one of the ones who can fly.
William, what's the light source in this building? Torches?
Natural light.
Natural light?
There is a fireplace, which can also shed an amount of light.
Well, perhaps in the meantime we can pay you for the service, though. And I'll reach into one of my bags and pull out an electric lantern and place it on the counter.
The Kardash kind of looks down at that, and
I will reach over and demonstrate how it turns on, and that it is a very good light, as opposed to the low technology that they currently have. At the very least, selling technology will probably fetch him some money.
It's been a while since I've been to any of the black markets.
You think this would fetch you a good price?
Probably. I'll take it. He sort of takes the lantern and slides it down under the counter.
I will remove one electric lantern from my inventory. Well then, a fair bargain struck. And soon, perhaps, some recurring problems for your people and your neighbors resolved.
And it's at that point you hear the oncoming clatter of footfalls as someone is running for the door from the outside.
Would I have seen them, given that I'm still outside?
Yes, actually, Weeder, you're kind of engrossed in taking a soil sample. Make me a perception check.
Yeah, that's fair.
Vider.
Perception. There it is. Slightly better than my other rolls, at least. 14. Nothing to write home about, but
so you don't catch them until they're basically running past you, but you do eventually pick up the sign of a half of a. I know it'd be a goblin, yeah, who is running as fast as he can into the main building.
Dressed like a local?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Then probably simultaneous with the door opening, Vider, do we have what do we have for communication?
Communicators
with each other.
You do have comm units that you can communicate with.
Then over comms, Vider says, you have another local incoming.
My comm is turned
Turn to door
off.
opening.
Yeah, and the you get just the immediate sight of this goblin again dressed in the local attire, sort of running through drenched in sweat as he runs in and just kind of looks up at the Kardosh and just he looks up at the Kardosh and just says, "Boss, murder bugs incoming."
Murder bugs?
It seems we may need to get our hands dirty sooner than I expected.
What are murder bugs?
Things
I
that
feel
don't-
like the name speaks for itself, Durak.
Well, certainly yes. It's an indicative name. It is certainly an indicative name as to their action and intent, but not as to what they are.
things that we need to deal with, the Kardosh says as he reaches under the desk and pulls out a battle axe and he just kind of shoulders.
I'm gonna walk outside to see these murder bugs. Pulling
Yeah.
out a book as I go.
You, it sounds like a stone breaking, but it's just Cardon cracking his neck as he stands up.
Durak, are we ready to depart then?
Shortly, but there are murder bugs incoming, and I'm fascinated at the name.
I should think the descriptor is simply fanciful, but can I roll to see if that's anything I've ever heard of?
Roll me religion.
Okay. I this is what we talked about. I have religion, but I've swapped it for technology.
Oh yeah.
So I guess just an intelligence
roll
roll.
an intelligence check then.
Okay.
I have opened my journal, and I have with my finger, because I've got that Illuminator's tattoo. I have already written murder bugs, underlined it, and I'm getting ready to do a sketch and additional information as soon as I see one.
Got a 19.
19. The name definitely strikes you as reminiscent of some form of fiendish insect, as far as you can recall, within the studies that go on Alurin of the realms of Sarheim, of the various devious creatures that escape Zarheim and live among the galaxy. The name Murder Bug gets assigned to a lot of the fiends that are more insectile, but you don't remember any specifics about what this might be individually.
Okay. The adjective to describe something from Zarheim is Zarheimian. What?
Fiendish works as the common term, but yes, if you're looking for like scientific nomenclature, it would be Zarheimian.
Okay. So Vitor looks up and says, so they have something here that is Zarheimian in nature, one would assume.
I write down
Well-
Bohemian question mark in my book.
Yes, you know, from the outer realms, fiendish nature, those things are commonly associated with the moral dichotomies of good and evil in this case. But sounds more like a local problem. Should we get back underway?
I absolutely must see this, though.
We're here, but we might as well help. As he pulls out his short sword and flips it into reverse grip.
As my flaw came into play a lot sooner than I thought. Most people scream and run when they see a demon. I stop and take notes on its anatomy.
Is are the locals coming out from inside the bar, or are they staying put?
Just the Kardosh. The rest are hunkering.
Okay.
I have written in shorthand. I've basically just written down everything that Vitor said, and I'm still sketching out a spot where I'll be adding in the details and thing as I'm just looking in whatever direction I assume that goblin came from, to see if I can get an eye on whatever it is.
So I'm going to
If you
this map.
If you wish, good doctor, you can stay in the speeder. I'm sure we can handle a few bugs.
As you hear this incessant, loud, deep, droning noise, as a group of three medium-sized, and by medium-sized I mean the size of a medium creature, massive, black, and almost alabaster winged monstrosities, vaguely insectile, with massive hornet-like stingers on their lower abdomens that are dripping with venom and have bulging what appear to be like egg sacs right behind the thrusting needle, begin to swarm their way towards the tavern.
That's a
At
violent
first-
ovipositor.
At the first sound of that drone, Mark 7 will draw the hand crossbow and their short sword.
Now we roll initiative.
Yay, initiative.
Okay.
Yay!
Select my token. Select your
I'll
token.
quite happily take that 22.
Also,
Holy shit. Hey.
uh,
19.
25.
I don't have Mordenkainen's Fiendish Folio in Roll20, so I'm gonna have to work off of D&D Beyond for this.
How the hell is your initiative 7?
I have an ability called Chronal Shift. Temporal Awareness. As a chronology wizard, at second level, I can add my intelligence modifier to my initiative rolls.
In addition to Dex?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty cool.
Question, John.
Yes.
Does Beyond 20 let you incorporate monster?
Yeah.
Roll.
Mhm.
I need to get that.
Yeah, if you have
add-on.
Beyond 20 installed and you click on a roll on a monster character sheet, it'll roll it in Roll20 for you.
Good.
Oh my
good,
god, I gotta get that too.
good. I need to pull up this bug's profile.
Just make
Good. Perfect.
Just make sure you have your Beyond 20 set to either Whisper to GM or not, depending on how you want to roll it.
Let's go with not, just because I think it'll be. Let's go ask me, just because sometimes I'll want to keep it private.
Can you in D&D Beyond, can you roll on monster sheets? If you pull them up, you click
Yeah.
on stuff and they roll? Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And again, if
Yeah.
you have Beyond 20, the Beyond 20 extension installed, you can roll it from D&D Beyond, from the monster sheet in D&D Beyond to whatever virtual tabletop you're using.
Here, let's set it to not Whisper for right now, because this isn't going to be super private.
They got a 14.
Why is it not setting that public? Huh? Darn.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
No worries.
We can see it in the turn order. So
Yeah, but I want to see. I want you to see them trying to kill you.
there.
I'm pretty sure we see them trying to kill us.
Just set
Just
it
tell
to
us
Yes.
what you think.
I will.
When do I get?
All right. So 22 is Mark 7.
Durak goes first.
Yeah.
The turn
Yeah.
order is not so.
Oh, right. I haven't synced it yet. 1 sec.
Yeah. My initiative was a 25.
Yeah.
There we
You
go.
need to sort the turn order.
There we go.
There we go.
They're going last. Durak. Actually, I need to roll for this guy first. 1 sec.
Go, bartender, go. It's at level 7 that I get charisma to my initiative as well as Dex.
Nice.
Yeah, one of the later levels of this homebrew class. I'm very eager to see how it plays in combat.
He goes on the same initiative. All right. But goes last because he actually goes after the bug. So his initiative is lower than the bug's. Merp. There we go.
Let's
Durak.
see. That only hits the one. They are. I can get all 3 of those at a 10-foot radius, can't I? Yeah.
Theoretically.
So Durak reaches with his sort of closes the book, reaches into a pouch with his left hand, pulls out a small chip of stone, makes a gesture with his right hand, flicks the stone out, holds up his right hand that has these two dark metal rings actually that are ahead, that are sort of at the tip of his fingers rather than down towards the base. Clicks them together and says Raptura. And as the little piece of stone sort of hits the one in the middle, I need all 3 of them to make a Constitution saving throw as I cast Shatter on them.
Here we go.
DC 14.
1.
Fail.
2,
Success. So 2 of them take 14 points of thunder damage. Actually, are they made of inorganic material such as stone, crystal, or metal?
They are decidedly not. They are made of chitin.
Okay, good.
And
We'll
hate.
check. So yeah, 2 of them take 14 points of damage. Yeah, the one that succeeded takes 7.
All right.
So casts that, and then I'm going to 5, 10, 15 step back over here. And hang on. Can I pull that out as an action to pull that out, or is it oh yeah, it's an action to summon it. So yep, that's my turn. And there's just this loud there's just this loud cracking sound as the air around the 3 bugs fractures and then shatters.
All right. Yeah, and as these insects kind of stutter in the air under the force of the thunderous force, one of them just kind of stares directly at you, Durak.
Which one was that?
The one that didn't seem to take it as much, which is the one on the far left.
Okay.
So now it'd be Mark 7's turn.
No, yes, Mark 7.
Let's see here. Check range. Marvelous. Straight into the fray for Mark 7. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And I will lead with the short sword against this particular... Well, I'm not going to call him a gentleman. 22.
That definitely hits.
Great. 6 damage, and I gain a focus point.
Bam.
Although I don't think I really need to use any of my focus features here. So I will instead shoot this one point blank range with my hand crossbow. I don't have disadvantage on this.
Yep.
Because this is exactly what the Buccaneer Captain is designed to do. 18 for the hand crossbow. 8 on that one. Alright, so that was movement, action, bonus action. That's me done.
Alright. Dr. Vita.
Vita will sort of hunker down on the behind the are we calling it a speeder?
Yes, that would be the speeder.
Okay. Can I see over it from where I am, or do I?
Yeah, you're tall enough to see over it, especially when it's parked.
Okay, so sort of posting up against it to have credit. Draws his sidearm sights down at the this one, the one that is not engaged, and will fire. So there we go.
That'll hit.
22.
You're +3. You almost rolled a crit.
3 points of damage.
All right. As you sort of rest your handgun against the hood of the speeder and just kind of ping, and this fire and the gun cracks, and you just see the bullet kind of skitter off the one of the chitinous plates on the side of this one on the right, and it kind of cracks a bit of the chitin, but doesn't seem to bite too deeply. But it does get this one's attention as it turns to you.
Can I, based on the seeing the impact, can I make a roll to try to tell if that's doing essentially full damage, or if it was resistant to it?
Roll me. No, you don't have to roll perception for this. This is obvious. It did full damage. You just didn't do a lot of damage.
Yeah. I mean, it was 3 points, but I was just curious. Okay, thank you.
3 points of damage.
And then I will. Yeah, I'm gonna stay put. So it's my turn.
Yep. Cardon.
All right. Let's see. I have a speed of 35, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Get right up next to Mark 7. And he's going to slide up to this one and slash with his short sword, which is glowing slightly. Oh, fucking
a 7 will
7.
miss.
I am unfortunately too far away from you to help you with that.
But I will use a key point to flurry of blows.
Kick it in the face.
Yep. As it dodges that, I don't have. Okay, I'm gonna use.
You didn't put an unarmed attack into your character sheet?
Not on roll 20. Oh my god, 6.
Oh no.
That's a
That was
natural
a
one.
natural one.
Yep, natural 1 and
That's better.
nat.
That'll hit.
Yep, 15, 20. So 7 points of
Which one were you
damage.
looking at?
This one right here.
The one that Vita shot.
Yep.
The one that Vita schnitzeled.
That's right.
Anything else?
Let's see. No, I can't really do anything else other than move 5 more feet. But yeah, no, I'm good.
All right. So it is now the assassin bug's turn.
Also, William, for your information, I can see Mark 7's health bar, but I can't see the numbers inside the health bar.
Odd.
Yeah.
I think we had the same issue last game.
You can make health bars visible without making the numbers visible now in Roll20, and that's probably just what you've done.
You've always been able to do that.
Have you? I thought you couldn't.
In my experience, there have always been hidden, visible to editors, and visible to everyone.
Well, yeah, but that was like the full health bar, not just the numbers.
Yeah, visible to editors. You can see the bar, but you can't see the numbers.
Okay.
I believe I
there
said
is
it to everyone though.
I forget how to words, but I know John isn't quite correct.
I see the numbers now, so it
Yeah,
works.
The joy
I
is
believe I corrected it. I just had to set it to visible.
the joys of being a forever DM.
Yeah.
I learn things about this platform every day, and I've been GMing on it for 5 years. So it's like.
So first off, it is now the assassin bug's turn, as the one on the right did just get hit pretty hard with the unarmed strike by Cardon, but Cardon's also big and seems to be made of rock, where it seems to think that Dr. Gerhard Viter would be a softer target. It's wrong about that, but
but it doesn't know that.
So it's gonna try and hover over here.
Get back here, you little shit.
And we'll heroic attack opportunity from Cardon.
Yep.
Punch it in the face.
This one Yeah, as it starts to fly up, can I headbutt it?
Yeah. The
All right.
impact.
Hopefully this fucking
Oh.
all right.
Just headbang.
My forehead scrapes its belly.
You swing towards it with the forehead, and you almost catch the stinger on your way down, and you're like, "Whoops, dodge that."
Oh, let's not touch that today.
That does not go near your mouth, sir.
And it's going to try and bite Dr. Veeder. It is a 9, which will probably not hit,
That definitely does not hit.
and a 15.
That does hit.
You take 5 piercing damage, and you should make an DC 11 Constitution save.
Damn it! You're 5 feet out of me to use a response.
Fine on the Constitution.
You are fine.
What? Out of curiosity, what effect?
What would I have used?
No. I was just wondering. I couldn't remember as an undead if I can still get poisoned, but I think I can.
I believe specifically as a Necros virus undead, you can be poisoned because poison can mess with the weird nanovirus.
Got it. Okay. So 5 points of damage. Yes.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
The second one on the left is also going to try and go after Durak, which will provoke an opportunity from Mark.
Come here, you. Short sword. 15.
That'll hit. That will hit.
For 11.
Nice.
Max damage. And I get another focus point. Great.
He will also try and bite Durak. 23 for 6 piercing damage.
I use my reaction, and as the attack is coming in, I reach up, grab the air, and twist, and the bug reverses in time as I use Chronal Shift to make him reroll that attack.
All right. 19.
Still hits, unfortunately. Damn it.
So you rewind it, but as it comes back, it's too fast for you to really get out of the way, and the teeth just come down and bite into your shoulder, and you should make a DC 11 con save.
Is that do the rest of us reverse as well, or is that a perceivable result?
You
for
could
the
see,
other?
you could see
In
it.
this particular instance, you see it happen. You see the bug is coming in to try and bite down, and Durak kind of takes his left hand and twists it counterclockwise, and the bug kind of freezes in the air for a second, and you get that sort of like hyper speed, like after image motion as it shifts back a few seconds, and then just comes back again too fast for Durak to react.
Can I make an Arcana check to see if I can tell what that was?
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana. You don't know. You don't recognize that kind of magic.
Jesus Christ!
All of your academics is failing you.
You are
It's
not
so frustrating to see this hedge visit actually doing things. I can't concentrate.
And then it's gonna try and bite you a second time.
Veeder's last words, but he doesn't even have a degree.
Natural 20.
What was the damage on that first one?
6.
6? Yeah, sorry.
And this is 14.
Ow. That
And
hurt.
I need another.
Durak, use the auto syringe.
22 on the con save.
You are not poisoned still. Between the two, the third murder hornet, assassin bug.
You real.
I mean, what's the difference?
Between the two of you,
Yeah, stone or metal, pick your poison.
it's entirely of metal, and it can't really find a good target, so it's going to go for Cardon. 23.
Yeah, that'll hit.
For 12 piercing.
Yeah.
And a DC 11 con save.
Cool. I have a response to that.
Go for it.
I'm going to use my outmaneuver feature. Whenever an effect caused by a creature you can see forces you or an ally within 30 feet to make a saving throw, I can spend 2 focus points, roll 1d6, and give them a bonus to the save equal to the result.
Nice.
That's very cool.
Nice. So 12,
You make it.
Didn't need it.
14.
It's gonna try and bite you again. 6 misses you though.
Yeah, how's it feel?
You take 12 piercing damage from that first hit.
Yep, I will mark that. Let's see.
And then the he's got the wrong weapon on this profile, but we'll just go with his attack bonus as the bartender goes ahead and will make 2 attacks against this murder bug that's on Durak. 24 and 11 will miss, so he will deal 1d12 plus 3. 15 more damage. As he swings this great axe into the bug on Durak and just kind of looks over at Durak and just, get out of the way. If its poison gets through, you'll be paralyzed, and then you'll be easy prey for its stinger.
Does that make it my turn?
Yes, that does bring it back to you.
So, bleeding from the shoulder after getting bitten, sort of stare at the murder bug, and Durak's eyes flash purple as he just says, Arcum tum coram rege, and I need it to make an intelligence saving throw.
Let me tell you about their int save.
As I cast Tasha's Mind Whip. Wow, that was shitty damage. Still
It
failed.
rolled a 15, but it has a -3 int save.
So it takes 8 psychic damage. And if it's still alive, it can't take a reaction until the end of its next turn. Moreover, on its next turn, it must choose whether it gets to move, take an action, or take a bonus action. It only gets one of the 3.
Nice.
And I'm just gonna walk past it. 5, 10, 15, 20 over to here, so that I am in range of my friends. The bonus action to drink a potion.
Yep.
I will
Or
use
in
the
this case,
auto.
inject
I
yourself
will
with
use
an
the auto injector. The greater healing potion, which is 44 plus 4.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I heal 10.
Ouch.
I'm not rolling very
That's-
well on dice today. That's. But hey, 13 is better than 3.
3. Okay, cool. That equals 1.
All right, that's my
You're
turn.
more than half health now. All right. As Durak's eyes just glow violet, and there's just this spark of arcane energy around the assassin bug's head as it just starts to twitch.
And then I, like that, completely not caring about it, walk
As
past.
it's unable to react to you in that moment. Mark.
Okay. I will start with the bug in front of me. The short sword attack. 24, I believe, hits
Yes, it will.
for another 11.
Nice.
It's still standing.
Yep.
Cool. I shoot him point blank.
The one on Durak is the one that's actually taking the most damage. 10 misses.
All right. All right.
As I see the crossbow miss, I reach out, because now you're within 30 feet of me, with my right hand, grab the air, twist, and Mark 7 this time reverses in time as you get to reroll that attack.
All right. Firing. 11.
Still misses.
Damn it.
Unfortunately.
Every time I've used this ability so far, it hasn't mattered.
Well, I'm going to use
You only
another
use it
captain
twice,
feature.
let's be fair.
I can only
I'm
use
going to
it
use
twice.
I'm going to use another captain feature I have, Concentrated Strikes. When I take the attack action, I can spend 2 focus points to make 1 additional weapon attack as part of that action. It can't generate focus points.
Go for it.
So I go down to 2 and 35. Dang, that's a disadvantage on the crossbow shot, so I can't do any more to the other one. So I'm just going to short sword the guy right in front of me. No, I'm not.
3-4-3. You're a Halo game.
Let's see here.
Well, I sent you back in
And,
time. The problem was the result didn't change.
And then as a bonus action, I will spend 1 more focus point to yell to Durak, keep your head down, we can handle these, and use Solidarity to give you 2 temporary hit points.
Wasn't the hand crossbow attack your bonus action?
Oh right, yes it was, my bad, I'm bad at this.
No worries.
New class, who dis?
I remain at 13.
Anything on
Alright.
anything else?
Nope, I've used action and bonus action,
Alright.
and I don't plan to go anywhere, I think.
Dr. Vita.
I just a quick question. Using the version of Chemical Titan that you have in D&D Beyond, I still have access to Frenzy Attack. I assume I'm not supposed to, right?
Oh, does it still have frenzy? That's not supposed to be there. I should have removed
Okay,
that.
I just wanted to double check because I didn't see that in the Stardust book.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am going to
It's okay. William can fix that and push an update to your character sheet.
I'm gonna use Reckless Attack, and I am going to bludgeon this murder bug with the backside of my pistol. I'm just gonna try to pistol whip.
All
That
right.
counts as an improvised weapon.
It does.
Okay, all right. So there is just from Vita. You just hear him say, Durak, if you move towards me, I can administer more medicine, but right now I must deal with this one. And he will. Oh, I have advantage. So can I roll again? Natural one.
So
All right, so
advantage
yeah,
gives you
so
that
he-
9.
He's just doing like a slap fight with the.
So you just sort of flip the gun around like a club and swing it at the murder bug, but it just kind of buzzes out of the way of the swing.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I nothing else I'm going to do, and I don't want to let it get a extra shot at me with advantage. So I'm going to stay put. That's
Card on.
All right. I will also try to stab the one right in front of me. 22
That hits.
for 7 points of piercing damage
Ow.
as I stab it in the gut. And as a bonus action, I'm going to try to headbutt it.
Go for it.
17 for 9 points of bludgeoning damage. I don't know why it's blank.
How's that one looking?
It's almost caught up to the amount of damage the one that was on you is taken.
Nice.
Very nice. And yeah, I'll scooch over to this side of it. I'll scooch behind it. So now it's really got to choose.
You would have had flanking if you made your attacks like that, but you already hit with both of them.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
We do use flanking in this one then.
Yes, we will use flanking in this.
All right.
All right. That's me then.
It is now time for the assassin bugs.
One of which has to choose whether it moves or uses an action or a bonus action.
It is just going to take its action because it has someone in front of it. It's going to try and bite the bartender. 10, I think, will miss a veteran. It will. As will a 5. It does nothing as it just kind of tries to bite down as hard as much as it can while it's still spasming at this Kardosh, who just kind of puts a hand up and just kind of clasps its fist around the mandibles so it can't actually bite.
Yes, I'm afraid that particular magic renders most beasts inoperable, so you should have no trouble with it.
The other one is going to keep trying to bite Dr. Veeder because it hasn't learned its lesson. 16? Craig, you're muted. I'm assuming a 16 hits Craig.
His AC is 14, so yes, it hits.
Yeah.
Also, don't forget he did use reckless attack.
Oh yes, it does have advantage.
Yeah, it does.
See if that might be a crit. It won't be.
Okay.
So 7 piercing damage. Needs to make another con save.
Mm-hmm. I failed that one.
You are poisoned, and while poisoned this way, you are paralyzed.
Fantastic.
If you'll come closer, I can administer more medicine. Gah!
You can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns, ending the effect on a success.
The one thing I will point out is there are no, because the voice that's coming out of the speaker is entirely synthesized in sound. There are no grunts of exertion or anything like that. Like
You're
even
really
when he's in the middle of fighting, getting attacked, there's no none of that.
So this one will be with advantage. Which will be an automatic crit because you're paralyzed. You roll another d10.
Oh, it hits you with the ovipositor.
No, that's just its bite again. You can only make its multi-attack is 2 bites. To hit you with the ovipositor, has to use a single attack, which it only does when the target is paralyzed. So you take 10 damage on the second hit.
And alas, Dr. Veeder, we knew him well. Well, we knew him.
And then that's its turn, and then the one in the middle is going to try and attack Cardon again. Not with advantage, so 7 misses you.
Yes. 17 would also miss.
Then else. Would it?
Yes.
Is your AC 18? Nice.
Oh, wait, no, 17 is my AC. So it would have just hit if it had advantage.
15 also misses you.
Yes.
So it misses you twice.
Scrapes against my carapace.
Durak. Sorry, no, not Durak. I have
Bartender.
To go to Bartender. Make your attacks, Bartender. Bartender, I'm going into battle, and I need only your strongest bruise.
You can't have
Bruise, you say? Cracks knuckles.
That'll hit. Damage with that great axe, which will be enough to lay this one low as he just kind of digs the great axe into it, slams it into the ground, pulls it out. Okay. And he looks over, sees Dr. Veeder sort of spasming, and 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Makes his second attack against this one. Misses. Durak.
Which one between the two that are left? Which one looks most injured?
The one on Cardon. By a mile.
Sort of I look over towards Veeder, look back over towards Mark 7 and Cardon. Raise my right hand and make a series of hands, like sort of a series of single hand signs, as my hand crosses over, and each sign generates a large, one of 3 large purplish pink spheres. Perdere. As I cast Magic Missile. All 3 of them targeting that one. So it takes 14 points of force damage.
The injured one or the less injured one?
The one that was next to Mark 7 and Cardon.
Okay. It's dead.
So these three purple spheres arc out after he says "perdere," and he sort of collapses to the ground in pieces. If you wouldn't mind, the good doctor requires assistance.
Acknowledged.
And then, no, I'll leave the bonus action. I'll leave my bonus action up for something else. All right, that's my turn.
Mark 7.
Will dash forward and spring onto and then onto. Sorry, I'm just measuring. Can I reach? Yes, very good. Leaps onto the speeder, runs across it, hops down
Make
on
me
the other side from the bartender.
see how well you handle that.
Sorry, I missed that.
Make a quick athletics check just to see how well you handle that.
Can I still you on acrobatics?
Sure.
26.
Fine. You waste no movement on this.
And then just as well because that was my full movement. And then we're gonna lead with the short sword again.
Right, you are flanking with the bartender.
Oh right, I'll try that again then. Oh come on!
2 natural ones. You stab
Two
the
nat ones in a
car.
row.
You drive down with the short sword, but you catch one of the guns on the side of the speeder, and it just gets jammed there for a second.
You shear the gun off.
Not with this weapon, I don't. maybe with cardons. Let's see here. Nope, that doesn't apply because I already have. That's fine. Well, in that case, I will take a bonus action to shoot him point blank. That's better. That's a 23.
You still have advantage.
Oh yeah, forgot about
I crit. You
that. Doesn't
don't.
matter.
But you yeah,
For a total of 11.
nice.
Movement, action, bonus action, done. Very good. So,
Doctor, anything else on your turn?
no, I just wanted to flavor it a little bit as firing the crossbow in midair as I land and completely miss with the short sword.
Yep. Dr. Vita, at the end of your turn, because you're paralyzed and can't do anything this turn, you can repeat the saving throw.
Constitution.
Yep. You succeed. You are no longer poisoned or paralyzed.
All right. Can I make a free action?
Yeah, you can do something free. Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as he starts to move again, Vito reaches up to a couple valves up under the mask, twist one, flicks a switch on another, and then reaches out to where he was stung, pulling out a swatch of tape, and will put basically friction tape as a temporary seal on his Atmo suit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
Cardon.
I'm afraid that if I do the same thing that Mark 7 just did, the speeder will have a pair of new dents. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get to there. And as as he passes by Duroc, a very large palm reaches out and goes, "Good job with that one," and slaps you square in the chest as he passes by, and you heal 7 points. As I spend a key for my hands of
I
healing.
actually have a pretty decent constitution, so it's like he's scrawny but sturdy.
Yeah. And then
Which is why Cardon didn't just send you sprawling into the dirt.
yeah. Accidental clotheslines. They happen. And then he'll move his other remaining 10 feet that way. And I didn't attack, so actually Yeah. Why not? We got a long drive ahead of us. I'll use my last key point to use a key fueled attack. I will, in as I slap you and as I pass by, he'll reach towards his belt and then flick one of the large darts from his belt towards the remaining murder bug for 17
That'll hit.
for 6 points of piercing damage.
Yep.
And that's my turn.
All right. Then it is the assassin bug's turn. It's frustrated. It's gonna use the ovipositor even though you've just recovered from paralysis. It misses you with a 5, Dr. Feeder.
Yes. Is a decided miss.
Does it try to run away?
It's a good question.
And take 3 attacks
I
of
don't-
opportunity. Or does it fly towards me? Come.
And
Try
still
to-
get an attack of opportunity from at least 2 of us.
Yeah.
Nope, this thing does not have that kind of rationale on it. And if it did, it might realize that it's surrounded and trying to flee would be bad for it anyway.
All right. Bartender.
And then Bartender is going to take his swings.
Bartender.
As I keep rolling really high on this fucking great axe.
Pretty decent, pretty decent.
He misses with the second swing now.
Ooh.
Durak.
How fucked up does it look?
Very bad. It is barely staying in the air.
I just sort of like palm up, extend a hand towards it, and then 2 fingers straight up as I cast Force Glaive. It needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, look, there's a save that actually has a positive modifier in. 12?
Still fails.
Yep.
Only 3 points of force damage as this.
It had 1 hit point left. How do you want to do this?
So those of you that are standing around it, the ground underneath it cracks, and this massive transparent blade that looks like a great sword, if the the blade of a great sword might look if it was a great sword designed to be wielded by a giant, just erupts from the ground and slices through it before evaporating and leaving the sliced remains scattered on the ground. And it just goes.
The last of the
Great sword.
bugs.
The greatsword does have like runic decorations. Like it looks like a very important weapon.
Something that could potentially be identified, or
Potentially.
what role would that be?
And probably
Because
be
you had a clean view of it because you were standing right in front of the bug.
probably a history, but with disadvantage because it's very specific to one place.
It's history, but with a high DC, and you probably won't get a whole lot.
Yeah.
You know what? I may as well try.
Natural one. Natural one.
I
It's
rolled
all
a
butter knife.
I rolled a 12, so that's a 10.
I'll take that 15.
Mark 7, you can't denote a lot about that design other than that it is distinctly an ancient human design.
Ah,
It is definitely something relevant to human history of some variety.
And as it goes away.
Why does it say "get good" on the side?
None of you speak Grotteron, so you don't know what it says.
I mean, I do speak human. Does that count?
It's a very specific dialect and language of humanity.
So then no.
You can make out the letters as being the human alphabet, but you can't like read the exact words.
Yeah, it's not the most commonly used human
tongue. Yeah.
phrasing. That's not the best word. Why can't I words today?
It's all right.
But yeah. So, are you all right, good doctor?
I'm fine. I've repaired the damage to my atmosuit.
Good.
That was a good reason why we should have been getting back on the road.
Well, also a good reason for us to stay. I would have hated for our lovely bartender to have to fend those off by himself.
As he sort of pulls the great axe out of the thorax of this last dead murder bug and kind of wipes it clean with a cloth. That is just one example of the various forms of handiwork the Empire likes to dump in our regions.
These were created or summoned? Have you any idea?
I don't know the details, but the Empire has numerous labs where they make monsters like these all across the continent.
I pull out my book and I start sketching.
Can I take there are enough bits left to take a sample, right?
Yep.
Can I run some tests on it? Anything interesting of note about its physiology or
only medicine with your intelligence rather than your wisdom?
As I'm writing, just like sort of over my shoulder, you said the bite paralyzes, and then they attempt to attack you with what?
The stinger that deposits their larvae in you, which will then eat you from the inside out.
Oh, that does sound quite painful.
I've seen more than one person die by it.
Do you know if it affects...
The only hope of survival you typically have is immediately burning the maggots before they can burrow deep.
Do you know if its larvae are
24.
capable of eating anything, or is it more of a only organics kind of thing?
Anything living.
Wonderful.
Good to know.
With a 24, you gather that this is not technically a fiend. You would not classify it as a fiendish creature, but it is a monstrosity definitely created with Sarhemian influence.
Wunderbar. So the Empire appears to be either conducting experiments or communing directly with, is it Zarhemia? Is the name of the
Zarheim.
Zarheim. With Zarheim.
Which is the what is the name of the precursor? It's the precursor word for pain home, which is the name for the realm of the fiends.
At the mention of the name, Mark 7 visibly stiffens and fixates on you, Dr. Vita.
What do I know anything about Zarheim?
Religion.
23.
Zarheim is the realm of all fiends. It is both in traditional fantasy settings, you have the Nine Hells and the Abyss. Zarheim is both.
Okay.
It is an alternate dimension that is theoretically just as vast as the prime material, which means it's basically a hell galaxy contained in a different dimension with demon and devil worlds scattered across the hell space between.
Ah, Zarheim, yes. I read a book about it once. Fascinating subject of study. Entirely possible that they've opened up a rift to Zarheim somewhere, depending on the level of technology or magical prowess that they have, potentially summoning these creatures or instruments to utilize in the creation thereof.
Yes, you native to the planet. The Empire, do they commonly truck with Zarheimians? Or this sort of technology, is this common?
More common than any of us would like. When they don't feel like sending their elite soldiers, they send their monstrosities to deal with anything they dislike. First come their representatives, demanding taxes and tithes and slaves if they need them. And then if anyone stands against them, they unleash some of their monsters as a fire and forget solution.
Out of curiosity, would these be sufficient evidence of our potential assistance to Lord General O'Donnell?
It'd be a help to me, and I'd be willing to put in a good word, but I'm just an old tavern keep. I don't know how much I'd be able to get any influence.
Well, we could load them up and take them
Any
in at the very
test-
least.
Any testimony you can provide would be greatly appreciated.
I'll send Galaron towards Legion Stand, and I'll let him know that you're interested. Although some extra heads, maybe dealing with that large creature that I mentioned, would certainly go a long way towards putting you in good standing with General Adano.
Oh, certainly. I'm fascinated by its very existence.
Is
That
it
will
also
get
like
done.
Zahemian like this?
I would suspect.
Then it will be disposed of. Or disposed of.
First disposal, then disposal.
Mark 7, does this have an autopilot feature?
It does, but you have to set the coordinates very carefully, and it doesn't work super well on worlds that don't have like networks to describe routes.
It is functional, yes, though maybe less effective than we would like here. Why do you ask?
Well, several of us seem to have been injured, and resources spent. If it was possible to continue driving while resting, that'd be ideal, but if not, we could stay here for a bit and recuperate.
I can certainly put you up in my inn for the night, no charge, in exchange for your help with these.
Do we have a means of camouflaging our vehicle?
I can hide it. We don't have any horses here at the moment. I can put it in the horse pen and put enough of a covering on it.
Yes, anything I could
Very
do,
well.
anything I could do would only last a very limited amount of time.
On the off chance that an Imperial patrol comes this way, it would be best to not give away our position too early.
It seems reasonable to me.
Very well.
Is there any chance that this was set on us on purpose? Or these sorts of things tend to simply be free roaming when they are released by the Empire?
Well, Grixon, he says, indicating back inside to where the goblin is probably hiding, came in running, so I'm assuming that they were probably chasing the sounds of your speeder.
Ah, so they may already be aware that we are here.
Maybe
Or
not.
perhaps this
The hornets are ambient. Loud noises and notable life signs draw them.
predatory instincts.
Yes.
Well then.
They don't tend to travel in large numbers. Likely these three were the only ones in the immediate vicinity, but you did draw them out.
Well then. Let's rest. Let's secrete our vehicle away, rest for a while, and then we'll get on the way towards dealing with this larger threat.
We can handle camouflaging the vehicle. The three of you ought to get inside and rest up.
I will not. say
Mark
no.
7 gestures to the bartender as they speak.
The bartender is not injured at all, right?
Yeah, Mark 7 was saying that Mark 7 and the bartender can handle camouflaging the vehicle.
No. I understand that. I just was double checking to make sure the
Yeah,
bartender.
no, he's completely uninjured.
Okay.
Yes. Out of curiosity, to the bartender, are there any other wizards or magical users such as myself in the area?
Magic is a rare art in this region. It's something that's practiced by those who either have a very rare innate talent or have spent most of their lives studying it. You won't typically find them wandering the roads.
Oh well. And I just sort of wander into
Although
the
the General Adano is a noted practitioner.
Ah, fascinating. Well, I'll wander into the inn.
And he will begin the process of, with Mark 7, putting the vehicle away.
Yes, there's some careful driving involved.
She will turn it around so it can. There we go. You're good.
Yeah, you're
good.
yeah, you're really.
Scrape.
Yeah, but much easier to park in reverse in the beginning rather than trying to reverse out and motor away. Honestly, it took me a while to figure out which end was the front. Out of
One
character.
with guns.
Yeah, the end where the guns are pointing. And as you finish up, he nods and extends a hand to you, Mark 7. The name is Jarkesh, by the way.
Sorry?
The
You
name
cut
is
out there a little.
The name is Jarkesh, by the way.
Jarkesh, it is good to meet you. My name is Mark 7.
Interesting name.
I am an interesting individual.
I'll take your word for it. Can I get you anything to eat?
I do not require sustenance, though my companions certainly will after the efforts of combat.
Kind of tilts his head at you for a minute. You a
Don't worry.
construct?
Yes.
Interesting. I've never met one with sentience.
Nor, unfortunately, have I.
Outside of the bark folk, I should say. Though they're less construct and more plant life.
Yes, I am familiar with these people, though I am also equally familiar with the differences between us.
All right, well, thank you for your assistance.
And for yours, both in camouflaging our vehicle and in the combat.
Your weapons are interesting, more advanced than any I've ever seen. Where do you all come from?
Let's see here. Oh, well.
All of that technology seems Empire level, but it doesn't look like any Empire make I've ever seen.
You would be correct. None of us are. Well, I don't think it hurts to be honest. None of us are from this world. It is our interest in acquiring a certain piece of technology that the Empire possesses.
You come from beyond the veil.
Would I know what that means?
Probably not.
Or-
It's probably local slang.
Would insight help to figure that out?
Yeah, go ahead.
4. What is wrong with my dice? Would I be right in guessing that that refers to, and they just gesture up to the skies?
Be correct. On a clear night, you can see the dust and debris from what I am told are coming to this world centuries ago. We call it the Veil.
I see. You would be correct then. Though
Yeah.
I will note. Sorry?
Go on.
No, you go. It's not relevant.
We haven't seen anyone from beyond the Veil ever, quite frankly. Many of us have begun to doubt that anything else but this world even exists. All we have are stories passed down through the generations.
I see. Well, it is good to know that, or I would think it is good to know that you are not alone in the galaxy.
Is that the word for it?
Yes.
Well, that would be interesting.
I recognize that this must be a shock to you. I have gone through similar experiences.
When you've lived as long as I have and gone through as much, very few things will shock you anymore. But it's heartening almost to know that the atrocities of this empire are but a small blip in the greater span of the realm at large, and that eventually it'll fade into history.
If we are lucky, eventually will not be for too long.
If you come with knowledge and weapons from beyond this world's boundaries, I might believe that.
We do, though perhaps not the city razor that you might imagine.
Still,
Give me
you
a few
bring
levels.
you bring a new element that the Empire won't be expecting.
If I had to guess, I would say that element might be hope.
Among other things, hope is something this land hasn't had in a long time. Adano is the few people who still holds a measure of defiance, and he doesn't have the numbers. But if word comes that the outside is looking in again, and that the place beyond the veil is real, and that we've been seen, hope might begin to flicker again, and people might begin to rally.
We are but 4 people, but even a knife can be lethal when used properly.
A good saying. Though I tend to prefer the heft of an axe, he says, kind of shouldering the battle axe.
There is a point here at which an organic being might laugh, but that is a concept I have yet to fully grasp.
I'm sure eventually you'll learn how it works.
Perhaps, well, not today, but I hope so someday. But we have stood around long enough. There is always a...
I should go.
There is always... Yes, and I shall see to perhaps additional security, just in case.
I appreciate that. He heads inside, so do you.
Yeah.
What are the rest of you up to?
Currently finishing my sketch of the assassin bugs. Just so they got a table.
Cardon just
Darn.
is just cleaning off his blade and sitting on the sturdiest looking chair and or stool.
Oh, here, Cardon. I'll pull out the cleansing stone and put it on the table. Just touch that.
How injured did the
touches it with the sword. Does the sword clean off?
Yeah?
Awesome. Useful. Sheathes it.
You asked something, Craig?
I was just asking, how injured do Durak and Cardon look?
Not very at all.
Yeah, Cardon just has the single bite.
Okay.
I mean, it probably looks a bit gnarly, but he's not complaining.
It bit deep, but it's only the one wound.
Yeah.
Cardon, you should let me clean that. There's some sort of what did it seem? Was it a neurotoxin?
It definitely felt like a neurotoxin. It was all like even the synthetic nerves that are provided by the nanovirus sort of seized up when it took hold.
There's a rather very neurotoxin used by those creatures. I should like to clean your wound. Durak, you as well, if you can tear yourself away from your notes for a moment.
Certainly. The bite was not particularly deep, and I have been tended to already. So indicating the I at the moment prior to a long rest, I'm only down 3 hit points. So like he sort of pulls open the torn open bits of his robe, and it's just like completely healed flesh.
And just a slight red mark from a giant handprint.
and a needle injection site from the auto injector.
So
Feel
he's
free.
basically uninjured but has a massive bruise. Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Very
Feel
good.
free to tend, Doctor.
I will. With your permission, I will also take a sample of your blood to make certain that the future injectors are more precisely tuned to your physiology.
1 second. Sure.
Very good. Durak, you as well, if you will permit,
I'd rather not.
of course. Um,
Blood magic and all
And-
that, you know.
wait, I'm sorry. What did you say?
He said blood magic and all that, you know.
Yes, I. If it will make any difference, and I understand that it may not, but I assure you that my areas of study at Flameheart University did not concern blood magic.
Understandable, but still, it is a constant fear that a misplaced vial might go to the wrong hands.
Sorry, Everflame. I can simply analyze it and destroy the sample afterwards.
That would be fine.
Very good.
Named for Everflame Lord of the Eternal Harvest, which is the name of a notable archfey.
And also the highest alumni donor each year. I will basically lend any first aid that I can, just to make sure all the wounds are clean and there isn't any lingering toxin. And then I will take and catalog the samples, and then destroy them if I have the ability to do so.
Easily enough. You just need a fire, basically. And look, there's a hearth.
Yeah. And then I would like to analyze both samples for any traces of the necrovirus.
Only medicine.
Got it. With intelligence again, or wisdom still?
Yes, with intelligence.
Okay. Can I just roll religion? It would be the same stat.
Yeah, go for it. Roll your religion.
16. Science is my religion.
Yes. I realize now that a medicine roll with your intelligence would just be a science roll, but it would be a technology roll, but still.
Yeah, basically. If that's, which is set up for religion on the sheet.
Yeah. So there is no trace of the Necros virus in any of these samples until, if you decide to, you introduce any of your own blood.
No, I'm pretty sure I know what my own state. Actually, I mean, I wouldn't be testing for it there because I know what that result is, but I will check and make sure. That's actually probably what he will spend the majority of the rest of the evening doing. Would be checking to make sure that the neurotoxin has not disrupted any of the safeguards that he's put in place. He's not degrading or suffering any loss of stability.
As you take a check through all of your own readings, the neurotoxin definitely seems to have been a short, intense dose that could have momentarily disrupted things, but would not have had any long-term effects. Largely, you would assume, because the toxin would have impeded, based on your understanding from what the bartender was able to tell you, would have likely impeded the development of the maggots that it would then inject into the target if it was a long-lasting effect.
Got it. Okay. Gerhard finds that interesting and notes it down. I find it gross.
Yeah, not the only one.
But also cool. All right, and then I think if there is still time, because he doesn't sleep, he will spend the remainder of the time going over the analysis from the soil samples and just figuring out what. Actually, probably looking for any sort of demonic taint that has crept through.
That will be a technology roll.
You got it. For God's sake, it's an 8.
Soil's high in nitrogen. You know, it's good growing soil. which is probably good because they probably don't get quite enough sunlight with that mess of debris coming in. So good growing soil helping to compensate the lack of direct sunlight coming in. Most of it probably having been filtered through all that dust and debris in the upper atmosphere. Probably a good thing. You can imagine that's probably why it's so cold.
Okay.
Although you don't feel the temperature as much as the living people here.
Not so much, but still good to know.
I will spend a while just sort of scribbling in my book before eventually probably falling asleep at the table on the book. With Shorsa sort of sitting next to me.
Owl occasionally picks up with one foot the drawing implement and makes a couple of correctional scratches here and there.
Is it still visible, or are you sleeping on top of it?
It'd probably be visible.
Vito comes over and is sort of reading over your shoulder and over your owl's shoulder.
It appears to be both a very detailed anatomical drawing of the murder of the assassin bugs and some very hastily sketched out notes.
Can I do a an analysis of the bits of the assassin bugs?
Sure. That would be nature.
All right. God, 13.
Still not bad.
Rolling solidly though in the bottom half of the die.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
I'd like to find out if it take a correlation with the other tests that I've done, specifically the soil samples, and see if there's anything tying them specifically to this planet. Or if I know the bartender indicated that they were essentially created here. I would like to find out if they were perhaps more likely summoned from somewhere else. If they seem to be in any way tied to the native life on this planet.
There is a portion of their genetic and physiological makeup that would place them as native creatures of this planet. However, the significant majority of their anatomy and physiology has been overridden with unnatural genetics and augmentations that, while you wouldn't classify it as a fiend from an ontological standpoint, you would say that it is massively fiendishly influenced.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. I will make a copy of those notes and just sort of leave them tucked into the open page of Durok's journal.
Mm-hmm.
Just the chemical analysis and so on.
Yeah.
Y'all are nerds. I just hit things.
I kill things with my nerd.
We have 2 nerds and 2 jocks.
Yep. Yeah, Cardon, after a while, will just actually stand with his arms crossed in front of him towards his waist and head bowed just in front of the hearth. And for a couple hours, just kind of sit there and just absorb the warmth as he meditates for a bit.
Jarkash just walks by at one point. Do you sleep standing up?
No. He answers immediately. And he'll turn and say, Cardon, and offer...
Your parents had a funny way of naming you.
Yeah.
What's your
Cardon
name?
and Cardash.
Hugh.
Yes.
Hugh Man.
My name is Hugh.
You are sort of named Hugh Jackman of the Cardash.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's
Man.
even funnier because the token art is literally the monk claws.
Man.
But no, Cardon Droya,
Yeah,
and
the token art
he'll
is not
offer
much
his...
the overlay art.
his hand. Yeah. Offer a handshake.
Here, shake it. Take your hand.
Man, that's one huge acronym.
Jarkesh.
Pleased to meet you, Jarkesh. So, is there not many of us on this planet, you were saying?
Not many of us in the service of the Empire. They tend to fear our they tend to fear our durability and our longevity. They barely tolerate the elves because they're easier to corral.
Well, that means, unfortunately, they're not stupid.
Yeah.
They are stupid in other ways, Mark 7 notes as they walk past.
Yes, most are. But
When the Empire rose, there was a concerted effort to drive off or drive extinct as many Kardash as possible because our elders had the strongest and longest lived memory of the time before the crash.
yes, how, if it isn't too personal, how old are you?
Going on 97 right now, and that puts me, well, not too old.
Yes, you're. And he gets like I remember when I was that age, look on his face. I was still making bad decisions when I was your age.
I've had to grow up at the rate of a human, so as far as they're
Yes.
concerned, I've lived a long life. I was one
Yes.
of the first to be born on this world after the calamity.
Both look over at the passed out human.
Well,
He was so young to have white hair on one side.
Later in the campaign, we will just find out it's died.
yeah.
It's not.
I was one of the first Kardash born after the calamity, so I have no memories of the time before, but I did grow up hearing the stories.
Well, now you know the stories are confirmed that. Well,
Wanderers from beyond the veil have returned to our world.
and there are many more Kardash.
Good. I'd hate for us to be the last.
That is definitely not the case. Just the most. I'm not one for words, but you've definitely got your own stories.
Most of the Kardash that are still alive today are on this half of the world, getting as far away from the Empire as possible to avoid their hunting teams. Anywhere there's a Kardash, there's a memory of the time before, even if it was only passed down. So anywhere there's a Kardash, there is someone who knows the Empire wasn't always in charge.
So the likelihood of a Kardash in, say, the capital.
Next to none.
Good to know. Well, if you have any questions of me, I'd be happy to answer them. And for pretty much the rest of the night, if he has any questions about outside Kardash culture, he'll do the best he can to best that he can remember, explain and inform him.
He's mostly curious about what it's like to sail beyond the veil. He's very curious about what space travel is like and how it compares to travel on the seas.
He will definitely explain that, minus the not so nice parts of his past. So he'll tell about journeys and stuff. Yes, yes, yes. He will substitute pirate for sailor. But yeah.
And you get the sense that as much as this is a young Kardash who basically lost his childhood to the fact that he had to grow up like a human does, you get the strong sense that he still has that want for adventure that a lot of young Kardash innately have, that desire to explore and see things beyond the borders that he has grown up with.
Nice. Cardon kind of takes heart in that it's still there before he turns in for the night.
So you all rest for the night, and in the morning, as you are fully rested, that is where we will, as you prepare to take off, as you start up the speeder and start making your way down towards the location that you've now had marked as Legion's Stand and the Dragon's Mouth near it. That is where we'll go ahead and end for the week.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.